Welcome to Min Canvas Studio. Today I'll walk you through our latest Google Sheets template, the Complete Budget Tracker. This tool will track your finances over the year. The planner contains 12 monthly tabs, a bank account page to monitor your transactions, a page for your debts, a bill calendar, and an annual dashboard. If it sounds interesting, we'll explain how to use this fantastic tool for your everyday spending. If you want, the link to get this spreadsheet is in the description box below. As usual with our templates, the only cells you should edit are the ones with a white background. The colored cells hold formulas and are automated. If you accidentally delete a formula, we have included blank pages where you can copy and paste the formula on the cells you edited. This planner comes with an instructions page. At the top, we have the link to this video. So if you have any doubts, you can rewatch it, or you can read the instructions below. Once you're familiar with the planner, if the instruction page is in the way, you can hide it by clicking on the little arrow beside the name. Select Hide Sheet or delete it if you don't need it anymore. To start using the template, go to the Customise page. Here you can choose the month, year and currency. The template comes with 12 monthly tabs, but you can start using it whenever you prefer. Once you select the first, the other tabs will adapt. The same goes for the year. If you start in November 2024, for example, the tabs from January onwards will say 2025. As for the currency, just input the symbol in the white cell and every tab will adapt accordingly. You will then fill in the drop-downs below. We created drop-downs on the main page, so whenever you want to add a new item to a drop-down, you will do so on this page, and it will appear in the drop-down menus of each month. In the income drop-down, you will input all the sources of income, like your main job, side hustle, investments, rentals, or your partner's job. The fixed bills and subscriptions refers to all the expenses that occur every single month, like rent or utilities. You can also keep track of your subscriptions, like Netflix or some other monthly cost. They will appear in the corresponding table for each month without the need to choose from a drop-down. Then we have the expenses drop-down, where you will input all your categories of expenses, like restaurants, groceries, clothing, medicines, and so forth. Only write broad categories or you'll end up with an infinite list of expenses. If you need to be more specific, I added a description column in the expense table. You can now populate the payment methods drop-down. The savings drop-down refers to an expense you must save up for. It does not mean a bank account for your saving. If you already have a savings account, you can leave it empty. But if you have an expense you want to track, like a trip or a wedding fund, you can use it to know how much you are saving up each month. We leave the dashboard for last and go on to the bank account page. This page is an overview of all your bank accounts. If you have one bank account, fill in the main table by inputting your account name and the starting balance. You can use the drop-down to select checking for the account type, but it's not indispensable. If you have more than one bank account, keep filling the table with your bank account data. Add the name and the account type. You can select if it's a checking or savings account and write the starting balance. Once you start filling in the monthly tabs, the colored cells will let you know how much you deposited and withdrew from each account and then show you the current balance. You can use this table to track your cash. Add it like a bank account without specifying if it's checking or savings, and add how much you currently have. Every time you pay something with cash, instead of writing it only in the payment methods, you should also select it as an account. This way you can track how much cash you currently have and how much you have spent. The last column holds a date. You can leave it empty if you don't need it or insert the date you last checked your bank account. In the transfer table, you can input the money you transfer between your bank accounts during the year. This table is only used for transfers between bank accounts. To use it, input the date you make the money transfer, the bank account you are transferring the money from, and the account receiving the money. Finally, add the amount. Once you hit enter, the left table will change accordingly. Now, every time you withdraw money in cash, you can write it here, and the cash balance will automatically change. At the top of the page, you get an annual overview of all the money in your bank accounts. The charts will offer visual help, and the tags at the top will show you how much money you have in all your bank accounts, checking or savings. It will also tell you how much money you transferred so far. To avoid messing up the formulas, we never repeat the same bank account name. If you have savings and checking accounts in the same bank, try calling them something different, like account name 1 and account name 2. Once you're done customizing this page, you can start using the template by going to the M1 tab. The monthly tabs contain overviews of your income, fixed bills and subscriptions, expenses and savings. Each category will have its total summary at the top of the page. To begin, go to the income transaction table. Start by adding the day you received the payment, select the income source from the drop-down menu, and add the amount. Finally, choose the account you deposited the money. Always add the account or the annual overview will not show the proper amounts. As we said already, the fixed bills table will be filled with the names you've written on the Customise page. You just need to input the day, the amount paid, and the bank account used to pay the bill. You can also input the payment method. Moving on to the expense table, you will need to input the day paid and then choose the category from the drop-down menu. Add the amount paid, and you can be more specific in the description column to remember where you spend the money exactly. The rest of the table works like the previous one. Add the bank account and the payment method, and you're done. The last table is the savings one. This table is optional, but if you have some expense you were saving up for, you can keep track of it here. Input the date, choose the name from the drop-down menu, and add the amount you saved and the account in which you deposited the money. This will be calculated as a deposit on the bank account page. Lastly, there is a read-only table that shows you how much money you earned and spent during the month, divided by your bank accounts. The tables have corresponding charts showing you all of your monthly expenses and savings. From the following month onwards, the budget summary overview will show you the money left from the previous month added to the money left from this month. If your goal is to budget all your income, the amount left will let you know how much you need to spend or budget. Now we can move on to the Calendar tab. This calendar only refers to the fixed bills and subscriptions from each month. It's a reminder of your bills and their due date. To use it, set the date by double-clicking the white cell. You can select a day at random. The calendar will always start at the first of the month. The table below will pull the data from the monthly tab and auto-populate. You can then click on the checkbox next to the bill's name to mark it as paid. The corresponding checkbox in the calendar will change. The calendar checkbox is not editable, only the one in the table is. If you try to click the checkbox in the calendar, nothing will happen. When you change the month, the corresponding bills will appear in the calendar. Before changing the month, empty the checkboxes and you are ready. To avoid deleting the formulas, this page is locked. If you try to edit a cell with a colored background, a warning message will pop up. Click the X or the Cancel button and it will be fine. If you scroll right, you will see the 3 notifications. They will tell you how many bills you paid, how many are left, and how much you paid so far. Moving on, we've reached the last page, the Debt Tracker. As the name suggests, it will keep track of all your current debts. You can have up to 14 debts simultaneously. The table will keep track of your overall progress in paying off the debt. Just input the debt name, the initial balance you need to pay off, and the end date. The table will calculate how much you already paid off, how much you have left to pay, and how many months are left before you pay off your debt. To calculate that, you will input all your payments in the debt overview at your right. This will record your payments and the bank account used to pay the amount. Always input the account to keep track of all your payments. You can also add the payment date if you prefer. Each debt shows the name you gave it in the main table and the initial amount. A progress bar with a chart will show you the percentage of your debt payoff. To avoid errors, do not repeat the same debt name twice. If you do, the cell will turn red. So if you have 2 similar debts like 2 car loans, write them like car 1 and car 2 or the formulas will not work properly. A small table below the debt overview will automatically track how much money you paid from your bank accounts during the year. This table will pull data from the individual debts table. Every time you add an account name and the amount, the table will calculate the exact amount you paid for each one of your bank accounts. At the same time, the bank accounts page will remove the amount from your bank account. Now it's time to go back to the dashboard page. This tab will offer an in-depth overview of each section of this budget tracker, except for the calendar. At your left, there is a little calendar. The date will change and today will always be highlighted. The calendar is fully automated. Below, there is a navigation menu. Since the dashboard is at the beginning of the template, you can use it to reach each page quickly and easily. If you start using the template and rename the monthly tabs, the navigation menu links will not change. If you name your month 1 August, the table automatically connects to that month. However, the links will not work if you delete one of the pages and create a new one with the same name. To turn that page into a link, click the link button and search the tab with the new name. As for the main section, we have 4 overviews. The first table is the annual summary overview. It will break down all your income, fixed bills and subscriptions, expenses and savings for each month. It will also keep track of the amount left each month. And if you go below budget and use all your monthly income, the number will be highlighted in red. The chart on the right side will give you a visual overview. The next table is the monthly bank account summary, and it will break down the same categories as the previous one, month by month, but it will be divided by bank account. At the top of the table, a drop-down will allow you to choose between your bank accounts. Once you select the one you want to view, the numbers will change and the chart will adapt. The following table, the Debt Tracker Overview, will show you a quick view of your debts one by one. At the top, you will select the debt name from the drop-down and the data will be pulled from the Debt Tracker page. You will see how much you paid, how much is left, and the progress you've made. The last table is the Bank Account Overview. This is similar to what you see on the bank account page. It's an annual overview of your bank accounts, letting you know how much you earned and spent during the year. To use it, select the bank account name from the drop-down at the top and watch the number change. The chart will change accordingly too. And that concludes our tour. We hope you find this overview helpful. If something is unclear, do let us know in the comments. And if you're interested in purchasing this budget tracker, the link is in the description. Thank you so much for watching and happy planning!